when he came in for Ola Gunlea, who received 2 yellow cards. So Mason Tatafu shoehorned in the lineup. He's back there with 2 freshmen in the back. Going to be a lot of fun tonight for John Michael Hayden and Ian McIntyre's squads as we get underway from Louisville. TJ Kahoa-Lee on that right side, top of your screen. On the opposite end, Michael Lee making his first start along with Kahoa-Lee.
And this is a big thing today. If you looked at the average position for Louisville the last time out against Pittsburgh, Kahoa-Lee was a little too Kahoa-Lee. Sorry, I struggle with Hawaiian
early on.
names.
Yeah, you get a few balls.
But he's your wing back. He's meant to be higher up and more attacking. He was pinned, almost making Louisville look like a 4-back system. That is absolutely not what they want tonight. So they're going to try to get him a little bit more forward and see if he can cause some problems.
We caught up with Ian McIntyre and John Michael Hayden heading into this game. An early free kick here. Said both of them said set pieces are going to be important in this one. Saunders Road toward to Tatafu and deflected away nicely by Omase. Lewis toward the box looking for Tatafu. Obviously, the strategy doesn't really change. Mason Tatafu, about 6'2", not quite as towering as Josh Jones, but we've seen 2 service balls into the 18 there.
Yeah, they're going to have to find some different targets for tonight, but not having Josh Jones, maybe that opens the door up to somebody else as an opportunist in the frame there. Really interesting start to this. I'm intrigued to see because Syracuse plays such a frenetic pressing and counter pressing when they lose the ball style. Louisville obviously will want to be on the front foot, get the home crowd behind them a little bit and see if they can rattle the cages early on. But they've got to be very careful for that exact reason.
Yeah, DeBlasis gets caught up there with Kalukian. Michael Lee is fast, but not fast enough to catch up to that play. Thomas Hutt, the Nutley, New Jersey native, formerly of Army West Point, came over to Syracuse with some shoes to fill because of the absence of Jaheim Wickham, who was injured in the early part of this season, started nearly every match a season ago. So Thomas, so far so good in cage. A couple of gaps here and there, but you're going to have growing pains, especially in the transfer portal when you're learning the program, and Ian McIntyre acknowledged that, but he says as far as a shot-stopping ability and a leader back there, he's more than we could have asked for someone that came in as a reserve. He's proven to be a starter.
Yeah, and that's, you know, you go back to talking about competition for spots, and that's what you want, right? You want to have people who can step into roles and really put their imprint on it and prove that they should stay there and be the person. So it's good news, and it's interesting because I feel like we hear about that a lot in college soccer. You're always asking on the next guy, and it's a lot, but that's why you recruit the way you recruit. You got to have people.
Tatafu tied up with Kalukian as well. Officials tonight, J.C. Rivero, Donald Williams, Chad Collins, and Anthony Frizzell.
Now, did you know that Kahoa-Lee, both of his parents were U of L athletes? Did you know that?
I thought it was just his dad. Mom too?
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Travis baseball, Jody soccer. Love that.
And they're from your neck of the woods. Here's Kalukian, an open net, offside.
Yeah, pretty easy call there on the linesman. Yes, they are from up near Boston. The birthplace of America, started this country.
Birthplace of Jeff Greer.
Something like that. But this is a good example for Syracuse, and I know they're hot right now about that call. but I thought it was the right call in the moment. And I think really what Louisville is in danger of here is, that was a tough angle to tell, but with the two front that Syracuse has, if they're able to find some space, there's going to be some problems if they're able to win the ball back high up with Louisville bodies behind or advanced and not able to recover quickly in the counterattack. That's where Syracuse is always so dangerous.
Ian McIntyre is willing to die on that hill because he's still arguing with the officials. He might have an alibi, but he did say, no matter what, we have a group that's pretty resilient when it comes to maybe things not going our way, especially early in the match. They don't let one thing fret.
Well, their playing style matches that, right? Like they play in a way that they could be up 5-0, and you would think that they're trying to come back in a World Cup final. I mean, that's just the energy that Syracuse always plays with, and I hate to tag them with sort of a stereotype of style of play, but that's who they are. That's their identity under McIntyre. As a foul's one on the far side, and another free kick opportunity here, Joey, for Louisville to see if they can get something off a set piece.
It was Tadafu getting tied up with Chimre Omese, freshman defender who's already got 2 goals this season. And that's the interesting part about the ACC, because recruiting has just gone to an extreme another level. You get players, freshmen. Louisville's very much similar. We're getting to some of that newcomer conversation because both these teams have a ton of new players. They're making instant impact. Rode toward the net, and Thomas Hutt there to catch it. But these 2 rosters are the youngest in the ACC, both with at least 13 newcomers. And most of them are playing, by the way.
Yeah, well, in Louisville's case especially, I know Syracuse is dealing with some injuries that they're kind of having to. They're having to play. But yeah, that's a big part of this is, you know, you've got to recruit your roster once you have it. In addition to finding good young players, you've got to keep them. And what better way to keep players than getting them opportunities and continuing to play, and then you don't need to hit the portal for transfers as much. You're able to go find plug-and-play type guys versus having to replace an entire roster because your freshmen are going to come back as experienced sophomores. So I do think that Louisville, as the team that we've watched more, is well suited for a rise in this league as they grow up.
Great through ball for Agunlea inside. Guerra just mishit. Perhaps maybe some interaction there from Syracuse. Michael Lee, a good play on it. Michael Lee over top the net.
Yeah, they're shouting for handball.
Yeah.
As that shot was dragged back across here. Let's take another look at it. It's a wonderful ball in. And let's see here. It is the second defender sliding through.
It was color to hazel.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because referees now are really trying to acknowledge human movement, natural human movement. That's beautiful.
Nicely done by Ethan Subashan. He sends this one wide. Cross pitch for Saunders Road to chase down. Defended by Rosenblatt down in the corner. Louisville had that very impressive win at Kentucky late with a Leon Condit finisher in the 87th minute.
Freshman.
Slovenian making an impact. Jack Lewis, another player with a ton of goals. You know, speaking of goalkeepers that have been sort of shoehorned into the lineup because by virtue of an injury, Harvey Sellers another one of those, and he's done really well in between the sticks for Louisville, coming in replacement for Alex Fetnoff, who went down with an injury in the preseason. And Harvey, a former Juke All-American, has stepped up for this Louisville team.
Yeah, he's been excellent, and look, they're going to need someone who's confident as a shot stopper in this league. Both of these teams have those guys. Sellers is not an imposing figure. He's not going to be a commanding presence in the air at all times. But what I really like about him is his confidence to go get the ball, even though he's not that 6'5" prototype goalkeeper. And then on top of that, I mean, his reflexes are just incredible. So he's been a nice player for Louisville this year.
Just a sophomore, too, so he's got plenty of time. Thomas Hutt, senior. Here's the former teammate, Gage Guerra. They shared a lot of wins because of Gage's Patriot League Player of the Year honors before he came to Louisville, before Thomas came to Syracuse. Gunlea lofting that ball, forwarded to Ethan Subashan. Just a mishit through to Sonder Road. By the way, we'll get to hear from our third member of our crew, Tyler Bright, a little bit later on. Well, 10 minutes plus gone now, Jeff. Curious, what's changed over this first 10?
Well, Louisville is already finding ways to spread that back three out wide, and we're seeing Omeze have to get out there and chase Subashan a couple of times now, but the final third product is not there for Louisville at the moment, and they're going to have to figure out a way to be a little bit sharper in that final action. Overall, though, I think if I'm Louisville, I'm feeling pretty good about it, but I'm also, if I'm Syracuse, I'm also seeing some opportunities maybe on the counterattack.
There's certainly been some physicality early as well. These teams played to the tune of a 2-2 draw a season ago. Both made the ACC tournament semifinals. Just as easily could have met in the ACC championship game. Syracuse, of course, the 2022 national champions. Tim McIntyre in his 15th season, Coach of the Year twice in the ACC, once in the Big East. This is a program that has been storied over the years, and they just exploded in that 2022 season. And if you remember, that national championship came down to a 7-6 win in PKs against Indiana. An incredible way to finish out the season. Subashan, and a foul inside the 18 there. Let's take a minute to hear from the third member of our crew, Tyler Bright. Hey, Tyler.
So Coach McIntyre has had an exceptional career throughout his time, 26 seasons as a head coach, previous at Oneonta and at Hardwick, and the past 15 seasons at Syracuse University. During his time with the Orange, he has had 2 conference championships in the ACC and 1 national title in 2022. It'll be interesting to see what he can do here in this 2024 season to get back to championship winning culture. Joey?
Well, thanks, Tyler. Great insight, because he mentioned that to us. He said, look, last year, not too much of a skid, right? We went to the third round in the NCAA's, semis in the ACC. The expectation has just exceeded what we've been used to in the past. Ever since, you know, no one talks about what happens to you when you win the national title. All you want to do is get there and have a chance at it. Now, all of a sudden, Syracuse, with that pedigree, they got to step up to that level, Jeff.
High expectations, but win a national championship, and that's what happens.
Lofting ball. The only real offensive firepower moment we've seen from Syracuse is that play on the break. But here's Threadgold trying to change that narrative here early against Louisville. Kahoa Lee there to stop that ball in the tracks off of Nathan Scott. And Syracuse gets it back. Elton Shifamba, the Clemson transfer. He's a welcome addition to this Syracuse team.
He's a metronome for the Orange. He's really the guy who's going to pick passes, pepper it around, try to open up some space for his teammates. Really good on the ball, really good moving off the ball. But back to the Syracuse conversation there, Joey. I mean, saw him in 2022, and I mean, they were a buzzsaw, and that's a lot to deal with. So you create that expectation, and you come into games like this against John Michael Hayden's team, and Louisville is hoping to beat a really good Syracuse team home, really boost JMH and his club.
When they had Notre Dame here just 2 weeks ago, that matchup because of the way Louisville was hanging around against a Notre Dame team who had really something to prove that night. It just feels like every match in the ACC, both coaches I'm sure would admit this, feels like you have to bring it every night. And not to sound like a broken record, but it does seem that you seem to get the best out of everyone. Every road team that comes into a home place, they have something to prove every time they arrive.
Well, we talked about it at the top of the show, too. I mean, we talk about the expectations, and Tyler mentioning there, Syracuse is coming into this. They need a win in the ACC. Louisville's coming into this. They put up a good fight on the road against an excellent Pitt team, and I, for my credibility, I will say I'm a Pitt alum, but they are like number 2 in the country. They're really good.
Yeah.
And Louisville's coming back here looking for a win as well. So there's a lot at stake here. And then on top of that, I think every team comes into Louisville knowing they're about to play in one of the nicest parks in college soccer against a team that's traditionally pretty darn good. And it makes for some really fun games here, especially a team of Syracuse's caliber.
Only 2 losses for Louisville on the season have been in ACC play. Both the teams who are perennial powers in the conference, Pitt and Notre Dame. Notre Dame was ranked 2 and was ranked 2nd in the country. Double draws and they fell out of the rankings. Louisville was 15th. Get that win against Kentucky and drop against Pitt, and they're out of the rankings. So it's just very volatile polls. Now, as we've gone along in the early parts of the season, Syracuse, I'm sure, will be there as well. There's a look at the cards. 14th in the ACC is a crazy statement when your team is 4-2. But
yeah, but that again, that's what this league is, and it's just an absolute grinder of a year, every year. And some years teams like, again, 2022 Syracuse, I mean, they just chewed up and spit out a lot of teams through the course of that year because they were that good. But if you're not at that level, you're going to take some lumps along the way. But hey, guess what? Your reward is at the end of the year you get to play in the NCAA tournament, and you're going to wonder why you didn't get to play all the other teams earlier in the year, because it might feel a little bit easier at that point. It's obviously not. But.
Yeah, obviously, right, because you're getting the best of the batch.
Yep.
But you make a good point, and the scoring that we kind of led the show with, not up to par of where Louisville maybe wants at this point in the year. Also, they were 6-0 last season through the first 6. Good header here, just a little bit outside for Sam Layton.
Yeah, look, Louisville past couple seasons has started super strong, kind of run out of gas at the end of the year. And again, ACC probably has a lot to do with that, but coughing up some late leads and just being left really frustrated late in the season the past couple of years out. Maybe this is the year that they kind of swing up as their younger players get more experience and they have more time to gel together. And look, you never want to be without Josh Jones, but maybe it's a good thing to play a game or two without him and just to see what else the team can do without their star player and how they mix together without him. Yeah.
And the Louisville newcomers have accounted for 3,500 plus minutes. That's 60% of minutes played. 2 goals and 7 assists amongst mostly that newcomer group of freshmen. Great forwarding ball for Nathan Scott. JP Jordan parlays that one out of play. Syracuse had a terrific outing against Canisius, the in-city foe. But very similar to Louisville. Just a few players in that 2-goal threshold, 1 goal here and there, and they've had some great play through on the assist chart as well, but a team that in the early going hasn't found their spot, but Rosenblatt trips up Jack Lewis, and that causes some rift in the Louisville bench. There's going to be a yellow card there for Rosenblatt.
Yeah, that was a really dangerous challenge. 2-footed on from Rosenblatt. And, I mean, John Michael Hayden and his staff are arguing that maybe should have been a red card. Very clumsy there from Rosenblatt. And caught the knee for Lewis there. That's a very high challenge, and he caught him on the calf. If they review this, which I think they are,
yes, they are.
I think that's going to be a straight red, Joey.
J.C. Rivero will check in the replay box. It's so interesting when you look at dangerous plays like that. Of course, it's going to happen. You rarely see it in the midfield like that, though.
Yeah. Well, and that's why it's so highlighted. It's in the, everybody can see it. But look, he comes in over the ball there. And you know,
I think the spike's got the right leg there of Lewis too. That's whether or not.
Yeah, that's pretty reckless. And look, I think I can tell what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to come over the ball and stop it and turn back in the other direction. But I don't know. That's a very high boot and caught him on the leg, coming over the top there with his spikes up.
Lewis is all right. And Rosenblatt, the graduate transfer from Elon, 47 games played there, 3 goals in 4 seasons, part of the CAA All-Tourney team. And J.C. Rivero, the rest of his officials deliberating, calling both coaches over.
I'm a little surprised here because, you know, it's a pretty reckless challenge. I don't think that it doesn't come across as a challenge that is malicious in nature. I mean, I think he's obviously pursuing the ball, but boy, that is a very high boot.
And it looks like J.C. Rivero and the rest of the crew have decided to stay with the yellow, so Rosenblatt's night not over.
Sander Rhodes sharing his opinion there with Rosenblatt.
He's always, well, he's never afraid to, right?
He's happy to share his opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When a boot goes that high, I typically have a hard time with it. But again, as I said, I mean, I think if you're trying to have a honest discussion about it, you could say, look, he is trying to do something with the ball. It just was really recklessly executed, clumsily executed, but I would have given him a red card for that.
Good play by Agunlia to interfere with that ball along the sideline. Lewis, unflappable. He's still going for the tackle. Now it's Rosenblatt center circle. It's good forwarding attempt. Kahoa Lee is there. He's speedy on the outside. Both these wingers are going to be speedy tonight.
Yeah, you need both teams in the shape that they're playing. You don't want to get your wingbacks pinned and basically look like a back five. You've got to get those guys out, give some width, take people on, try to play into space. It's just going to be a tough task with how good these teams are. You're going to constantly feel like you need to be helping out defensively. So where Syracuse is dangerous.
Omese looks through to Burko. Too wide. Maybe was trying to catch Kalukian. And Tatafu nicely slips that one out of play. Looks like Subushan maybe got the worst end of that contact there in that challenge. Leibold in the corner. Good look. Chifamba nicely put away there on that chance for JP Jordan. And it goes back to Sander Road.
We just saw what really makes Syracuse dangerous. And honestly, it's very similar to Louisville, is you cannot get caught in possession with your back line and your defensive midfielders, because what happens is your numbers are ahead of the ball. Defensively, it's hard to get back. You lose the ball like that. Syracuse was in basically a 3v3 situation there after winning the ball very high. And if the cross had been a little bit more quality, that'd be a different conversation that we'd be having right now.
A foot race between Tatafu and Kalukian. As Tatafu takes the tumble. Certainly a foul there on Kalukian. Back to Louisville.
Yeah, just clipped him there. Obviously just going stride for stride and clipped him there. Tatafu is such an important player for Louisville, especially with Josh Jones out. You need that veteran presence, a guy who's been through the wars of the ACC, and he's already off to a good start tonight through 20 minutes.
Guerra and Kahoa Lee playing a two-man game. But Guerra would love to honor Thomas Hutt with a little goal against his former teammate. Honor might not be the right word. Baptize into Lynn Stadium. Regardless, Hutt would like to be on the better end of that. There's Michael Lee. Good hit from Garrett. Too tall. And that's out of Lynn Stadium.
Yeah, probably a little bit rushed there and was not in a position where he was ever going to really strike that with any sort of menace. He was kind of flat-footed there. Syracuse has done a good job once it's in the defensive third of really rushing Louisville into decisions that haven't benefited them thus far and really scared Syracuse in any way.
Tatafu had some nice duels and wins at that in the back line there.
What I'm really concerned about for Syracuse right now is Threadgold is having to defend down this right flank in a way that he's almost looking like a fullback. You got to get this guy right here. You got to get him on the ball in a much more advanced position and see if he can cause some problems.
Pac-12 all-conference player Threadgold came over from Washington. Really good program out there in Seattle. Up top, Kalukian, that was alive, and Sellers takes the weight on it. Interesting, it doesn't feel like either team has been able to get a particular advantage, at least with the shots category. It's 2-1 Louisville right now. Physicality sort of at a premium. Syracuse with 4 fouls to Louisville's 3. Both, I'll ask you then, Jeff. Do you think that's just a product of chances not being able to be created because of defenses, or just both offensive attacks trying to still get loose?
Yeah, a lot of action has been through the midfield here.
Well, here's Koa Lee trying to make a chance for Louisville. That ball's deflected away by Hutt.
Had to be. He had Guerra there making that run. Yeah, a lot of the play has been dictated between the lines. Very, very physical in the midfield, and you know, the defensive groups for both teams have had a couple of giveaways against the counter press. Not really able to keep a ton of possession. Louisville's found some joy with the over-the-top ball, kind of skipping through the midfield and trying to get it from the back three to their wing backs high up, but it's been tough sledding once they get into those positions because Syracuse has been so good defensively.
Tatafu really testing and testing the height of the cement walls outside of Lynn Stadium. It's 2 shots now over top.
The equipment manager here for U of L jogged out of the stadium to go get that first ball, came all the way back, and he is now getting more exercise here as he runs back. He's running just as much as a central midfielder, Joey.
Right. So Sakil Mong, Ernest Bawa, and Michael Aqua are all coming on for Syracuse. And for Leibold, Burko, and Kalukian. His teams have had some serious battles over the years. Louisville holds the edge by quite a margin over the first 20 matchups. 4 of the last 7 level. So we open, of course. They're both looking for a win. Just could easily be a draw given their history. Syracuse with 1 point in the standings in the ACC, of course, in the early going. And Leon Kondich and Valeo Kamara come on for Ethan Subashan and TJ Kohoali. That's interesting, Jeff, because now Valeo Kamara is going to have to be using his right foot for service, being on that right wing. He's typically down as a left wing player.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if maybe that's pinching in more. Or, they've been able to find some space down that far flank there, so we'll see if that's more of a matchup thing, or I don't know. I'm curious to see.
It was fun to see Kondich get his first goal of his collegiate career against Kentucky for the first road win since 2014 in the Battle of the Bluegrass for Louisville. And now he's back on. The Slovenian making an impact. Nathan Scott, the set piece, the all too important component of tonight's matchup for both coaches. Louisville defense.
Yeah, Scott normally is a really good deliverer on free kick opportunities. That time just low and couldn't clear that first line of defense. You want to just put it in the mixer in those scenarios and see if your guys can beat their guys, but that time not quite the ball that was needed.
Hutt in a little bit of trouble there. He's going to lay this one out of play. It'll be a throw in from Michael Lee.
Yeah, Louisville really doing a good job way up in their press, making Syracuse uncomfortable and getting the turnover in the attacking third, but they're not able to do anything with it.
Thread Gold clears out to Blastus, maybe a misheader. Tries to get this off to Harvey Sellers, and Sellers comes off his spot before Ernest Bawak get there, the UNC transfer.
Yeah, that is, DeBlastus needs to buy his buddy a pizza after the game for that, because that was playing a little bit with fire. He had two Blazers breathing down his neck, and Harvey Sellers very alert goalkeeping. A nice job there.
Lewis to Michael Lee. It's three freshmen in that little triangle there. Lewis and Kondich, the acclaimed favorite Europeans on this team.
I've been really impressed with Ogunleya as he has grown. You know, the first couple of games is, you could tell why they really like him. He just moves really well. Cuts obviously an imposing figure as well with his frame, but as he still looked a little awkward at times, a little clumsy, but he has just gotten very comfortable spraying passes and just a really sharp center back for this team as just a freshman.
Great forwarding ball from Tadafu across the pitch. Michael Lee trying for it. No dice. You're absolutely right. Ogunleya came into this season, his freshman year, and with a point to prove as somebody who could start in this right away. And John Michael Hayden said he was the first one for us that really proved that he could do it from like day 3. He made a really strong impression.
Yeah, and that's, you know, another guy who's going to be helpful on set pieces at 6'4", good jumping timing. But I've been very impressed with him tonight so far.
Nathan Scott shimmies J.P. Jordan away, but not before he yields the foul. .15 minutes to go. First yellow card presented here. This time for Elton Chifamba.
Yeah, I think that was for dissent there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. From that angle, that just looks like two guys who were jostling and one fell. I don't know if I would have done that as a foul.
And for Scott, rather. On Guerra, the contact there. So, final third of play here in the first half, Jeff. What do you need to see out of both sides to lean into that halftime? Maybe even get a goal.
Yeah, I think, look, if you're Louisville, it's got to be a higher quality product in the attacking third. You see right here, they've gotten the ball turned over. They've gotten possession in the attacking third. They just haven't been able to get the final quality on it to get a shot away or to do something in front of the frame. If I'm Syracuse, I'm happy it's 0-0 with the first half. They haven't really been super threatening getting forward, but I would love to see the Orange get on the ball a little bit more and see if they can start working through the line, try to get some of these guys like Scott and Threadgold on the ball and see if they can play in some of these speedy forwards that they have. But I think at this point they'll be happy that it's 0-0 with a road game like this and Louisville coming out the way they did to start the game.
See how they play it through. Great ball up ahead to Kamara, and Thomas Hutt there to stop that opportunity with Ming chasing him down.
Yeah, that was a first touch that betrayed Kamara there. He's trying to get end line, get something across the frame. Just did not, a little too heavy on that first touch, trying to come inside and get something across the goal.
Good layup to Jack Lewis. Conditch trying to catch up to that one with Omise. Another clearing ball. Louisville certainly a team in years past used to having to answer. Had a 3-2 loss to Pitt. In a spot where they really could have used a win there. DeJesus Cutler is out, as well as Chifamba, Ezra Widman, and Dominic Bell are in for Cuse. Braden Smith, freshman forward, also on for the Orange. I thought we might have an Otto sighting. He didn't make the trip.
Yeah.
He didn't fit in the plane.
No.
Out of the Orange, obviously.
Gotta fly Otto with a helicopter, I think. Have you seen Otto in person?
I haven't.
Oh, it's a true delight.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, I'm a big Otto guy.
All right.
I love Otto.
I'll never forget playing Out of the Orange against the Stanford Tree in NCAA football on the Xbox. Back when they had mascot mode. Hopefully that's an addition next year in next year's video game. A college soccer video game. Would it kill him to turn that one out?
I think it would. Yeah.
There's half the teams that there are college football.
You know what? That's true. I will tell you, some of the best chicken and waffles I've ever had in my life, Funk and Waffles in Syracuse. Shout out Funk and Waffles.
I'm gonna have to give that a shot.
It was about.
You can't argue that.
Minus 8 degrees out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Anytime. But
snow on the ground, freezing cold out.
Jeff's getting hungry.
Went inside, had some chicken and waffles.
We'll break up the food conversation. Let's throw it down to our third member of our crew, Tyler Bright.
The Louisville Cardinals are off to a solid 4-2 start this season, but the record could easily be an unbeaten 6-0. Both their losses were decided by just one goal. In Notre Dame, they scored it 1-1 to tie it, but couldn't generate enough offense in the second half to secure the win. Against Pitt, it was a different story. Louisville struggled early on, but rallied 2 goals in the second half, falling just short of the comeback. Tonight, they'll aim to combine the positives, both in their losses, as they push to complete a perfect performance and get the victory against the Orange tonight. Back up to you, Joey.
Tyler, what kind of waffle is your favorite?
I like a little chocolate waffle. I like a little chocolate. If we get some chocolate chips in there, that's my kind of waffle.
That's my guy right there. Double
Loaded
chocolate.
Up. Love that.
We love our plaid pancakes around here. Service in. Deflected away nicely by Fortier. And Tyler's so right, because this is both these clubs have given themselves opportunities. Louisville in particular. You look at that Pitt match, you're a couple chances away from getting a draw against the number 2 team in the country. You point to your Notre Dame match where there was plenty of chances down the stretch in the final 20 minutes even. They didn't give up. They just didn't quite get the ball to turn in the back of the net. This team, just like I said, just a couple chances away from being 6-0.
Yeah.
For second year in a row.
Well, and that's where the growth is you've got Sander Rode and you've got Gage Guerra, but guys around him, Subashan, guys like that are playing a lot more this year than they did last year. I know Subashan played, but Kondich, all these younger players, Lee, you need those guys to learn in those moments. What did that look like? We pushed, hey, we pushed in this game. We were down 3-0. We pushed back to make it a game. They scratched and clawed and got that own goal late against Pitt. And, maybe that's something that in a year's time, they're talking about a learning experience that turned into a winning experience for them. But that's just what the ACC is, man. I mean, ask Syracuse fans who watched their team lose, twice all year when they won a national championship. They probably had a lot of games where they may have felt like they weren't the best team, but they ended up winning because they knew how to monitor and operate in those moments and get those winning plays that push them over the edge. It's tough to get there, but once you do, you're there.
19-2-4 in 2022. To round it out with a national title. Best record in program history. And Ian McIntyre knows what this program is capable of to try to repeat. Last 2 national champions in the ACC. Clemson is coming to town in the not too distant future next month. Kondich trying to chase that one down with Hutt to parry it away. No blood drawn in this one so far between Syracuse and Louisville, but highly contested. Neither team has really been able to get many chances. Neither team has a shot on goal. Three shots for Louisville to Syracuse's 1.
A lot of this game has been played in the middle, we'll say 70 yards. Neither team really has been able to get into a spot where they can get something on frame, and that's why you saw earlier rushed 25-yard shot there that was just kind of not really a thing. Louisville, I think, will feel better about the space that they've found, but they just have not really turned that into anything. Maybe this will be it.
Short corner for Kamara. Kamara toward the cage, or at least in the area. That was deflected by Braden Smith, and it looks like Michael Lee is offside.
Well, you see Kamara causing some issues down this right side. And he's frustrated a little bit, but again, it's that pocket of space where you spread out the center backs and you're forcing that wing back in Syracuse's shape to defend, and then getting runners in between those defenders has been a good little burst of space at times for Louisville.
Syracuse's chance now. Bawa! That one is deflected by Sellers, and this will be the first corner for the Orange tonight.
Syracuse has had some success in this first half where they've gotten that little poked through ball onto a runner, and their forwards all just have a ton of pace. That time, Bawa just kind of trying to get something near post to make Sellers do something with it, and that's exactly what he did, won himself a corner.
Taking the corner for the Orange, number 24, Sakil Ming.
Sakil Ming off to far to be chased down by Ezra Widman.
And again, it's both teams, Joey, in this final third when they've needed something quality, they just have not been able to get across into a runner, play somebody into a little pocket of space in the box if there is any. They just haven't really been able to get anything, even in the mixer, to just make somebody win a defensive header in front of frame. Neither team has been able to do that in this first half.
I think it's indicative of some pretty strong back line play, at least early, and that's not surprising for Louisville because they have got great players back there. But when you lose Josh Jones, you feel like you lose part of that, the spirit of that unit a little bit. And they seem to have not backed down at all.
Yeah, Louisville's done really well defensively. They have been caught a couple of times with a higher line, but not enough to obviously hurt them. This is a potential opportunity. Cut out by DeBlasis, but Syracuse has had to do a little bit more like box defending, a little bit more, pinned a little deeper, clog up the space and clear it away. Louisville has been a little bit more facing your own goal, dealing with the through ball. But you're right, I think both teams, their back three has been really, really good.
Gulanda clear. Tracked down by Dominic Bell. Up to Gage Guerra. Tatafu looking for Michael Lee. On the prayer there. Finds the feet of Sander Road. The Norwegian makes some nifty moves. Road inside. Kondic didn't even get close to the hit.
That was really good, though, from Sander Road. He's just kind of probing, waiting to see if something would open up, and then Kondic made the run. But I liked the big switch there from Tatafu. It didn't immediately get to one of his teammates, but it forced Syracuse to have to defend in a little bit more isolation. They had numbers on the other side.
Aqua threw ahead to Kevin DaCosta. Looking for Bawa, and Mason Tatafu had some contact with him. This ball trickles out of play. Back to Louisville, no foul.
Yeah, it went down a little too easy there. But again, Syracuse 2v2 in these moments, 2v3. This is where they've really been dangerous. Yeah, come on, that's a bump. But I love this run, though. And a great ball in. Just not quite on for Syracuse on those breaks just yet, but they've had a handful of them. And I'm guessing that Coach McIntyre at halftime is going to talk a little bit about those and what they can do to capitalize on them in the second half.
Aqua finds the head there of Kamara. Maybe a final push here from Louisville before the first half ends. Neither team really able to knock down that wall of defense from either side.
10, 9,
Given to
8, 7,
to Mason Tatafu, and that'll end our first half. So Jeff,
1, 0.
curious your first half thoughts. There's been a lot of action with no goals.
Yeah, it's been a physical game. It's been pretty frenetic as expected, a lot of energy, but really not a whole lot to write home about in either attacking third. That's not to say that there haven't been moments where it looked like a chance might develop, but really good defending for both teams. The goalkeepers have been alert and on point, and pretty conservative. We saw Hutt clearing one away just to be safe, but I think they've both done a really good job, and interesting chess match so far.
When we come back, talk ACC news and notes and a little bit of fun here in the Derby City. Scoreless at the end of the first half between Louisville and Syracuse.
We love home internet from T-Mobile. Oh, now Mesh boosts Wi-Fi all over your home. Taking a class in your attic, that dead spot is gone. Stream ballet in your man cave, learn to paint on your lawn.
He's glorious.
For a limited time, get a free upgrade to Home Internet Plus. Just $50 a month.
Okay, nature boy, what's that bird then?
It's a male finch.
They give seeds to females in a bonding ritual.
Wow.
I'm sure you could bet your bottom dollar that both teams are going to be ready to go here in the second half. Both coaches have emphasized attacking and pressing. Do you agree with that sentiment, Jeff? You feel like that may have been the message at halftime?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think if you're Syracuse, you're probably saying, look, we've had a few, and I know we talked about this right before the break. They have had a couple of moments where they got 2v2, they got in some isolated defensive, or got in some isolation defensively and really made things difficult. Offside flag goes up on one a corner on the other. I think they're right there for that. But defensively, I think they've been very, very strong.
Kamara inside to Guerra. Louisville with the early pressure. Threadgold knocks that one out of play, and it'll be Michael Lee to go in. If you're either side, you'd love an early goal in this second half to have a demonstrative way of really showing that you've arrived for the rest of the match. At least generating chances, both something that each of these foes is after. Tatafu, some contact there with Kalu, and just a foul. This will be free kick here for Sonder Road.
And this is where Sonder Road can be so difficult. Yeah, just shoulder to shoulder, not shoulder to shoulder, sorry. Lost his balance and took a shoulder two. Tatafu knocked him down. Easy call. Not an ideal location if you're Syracuse to give away a foul like that. Kind of unnecessary. Sonder Road, look, these are sometimes a little difficult. He's got a little bit of an angle, but I would expect this to be a more vertical ball.
Jack Lewis finds his way down. Sonder Road, just a little too strong for Gage Guerra, headhunting against his former teammate at Army.
Yeah, you could tell he's trying to get to that back post with that curl, at the late curl there, but the runs have to start a lot sooner for Louisville to be to have running on that back post and get a toe on that, put it in the back of the net. Just again, clearly just not quite connecting the dots, Louisville, even though they've had the lion's share of moments where you felt like they could create a chance.
Throw it up to Guerra, trying to find Ethan Subashan. And the lone goal against Notre Dame. Also had a goal against Bellarmine this season, a sophomore from Cooper City, Florida. And talk about some of the newcomers. Both these teams having the youngest rosters in the ACC on average. Ethan Subashan came onto the scene last year. He was a highly touted, highly recruited player amongst ACC teams. Made a pretty big impact a season ago. Through to Sonder Road, and Road gets tripped up there by DaCosta. Be another free kick here for Louisville.
And an opportunity here almost identical to the last location there for Sonder Road. Maybe pull that ball. The last one, maybe you get it 5 yards further out the goal, and that's just enough to get somebody on the end of it. But this is where the quality that Road has to come to light for Louisville. They're at home, and they've been looking for that breakthrough.
Headed out by Color de Jesus, a graduate transfer from Marist. There's a Gunlea, and offside.
Yeah, that was the Josh Jones playbook. You still have your big guys forward, recycle it back in, look for a target. That time a lower cross, but Gunlea was, I think, one of several guys who didn't quite notice that the line had pulled up past them and they were offside.
Thomas Hutt, by the way, you could tell he took his training at West Point seriously. Dude looks like he could walk onto football if he wanted to.
He's a big guy.
He's got the hair for it as well.
Yeah, I love that. Very confident in his box. Pawed away that cross early on. That was an important intervention.
Good ball ahead. Tadafu to head out. Burko was looking for it. This will be a corner for Syracuse. Maybe a small error there. See how it transpires ahead, but take another look at this. Sellers out of play.
Yeah, Tatafu just trying to pop that up. He had Burko breathing down his neck there. Sellers just trying to get over in time to grab it. Just already had gone a little too high for him.
It'll be Elton Chifamba on the corner. Crossing in. Tadafu headed out again. He had to be big, literally, tonight, and he gets another big defensive play to clear. Important for the Aussie, who spent the beginning of the season on the bench because of an injury.
Yeah, he's been excellent tonight. He keeps popping up in key moments, making really composed, smart plays. And that time, standing tall, keeping his composure. Good clearance, too. Subashan helping out to finish the job.
And Louisville, by the way, dodges that fortunate sequence that where Harvey Sellers had that ball out of play. A foul on Cuse. This time Sam Lee. We talked about the pedigree of this program. There have been 5 MLS Super Draft picks from the 2022 team, 2 more a season ago. And certainly more to come, I'm sure, through the walls of upstate New York there at Syracuse. This program continues to churn out some of the best college players that go on to be great pros. Jordan lofting, and despite the best efforts of Cutler de Jesus to try to reach for that one with his head, it's a great forwarding pass up to Threadgold, and now it's Syracuse leaning into that chance, and Michael Lee, the freshman, steps in. Here's Omese. Back to Threadgold, man, he's everywhere. Fortier down to Threadgold, inside looking for Daniel Burko.
Good recovery from Louisville after that set piece. Good
that
save.
One. Yep, Kalukian had Harvey Sellers the best chance of the night so far for the Orange.
Yeah, you're not going to challenge Sellers with that, but still comfortable hands, made the nice easy catch.
In the absence tonight of some key players, including Josh Jones for Louisville, see him on the sideline there. Lower leg injury. Great shot here. Sellers ready for it. Jones loves that, and his defense, the last two possessions here, a couple of nervy moments.
Yeah, Burko, I'm surprised he didn't take another touch and get a little bit more of an angle there. He left the defender behind him there, but Syracuse showing signs of life, getting forward and making Louisville have to think a little bit more.
And Burko had his first goal of his collegiate Division I career against Canisius. Through ahead for Kamara. Subashan keeps that alive. And out of play.
Yeah, Kamara.
Foul inside on Gage Garrett.
Kamara, not quite the right decision, and I realize he's running at pace. He's dribbling. There's defenders in his immediate vicinity there, but he had Guerra if he wanted to play it to his back foot and let Guerra kind of settle it and maybe turn. And he tried to kind of come back across to Subashan. Just not quite the right decision there from Kamara in that moment. But that's kind of the story of the night for both teams in the final third.
Great ball by J.P. Jordan to Michael Lee. Jordan broke into the scoring earlier this couple games ago. Through ahead to Burko. Lincoln Memorial product. Burko against DeBlasis, gets a good look. DeBlasis retreats for it. Good hit by DaCosta, and well outside.
Yeah, at this point, maybe it's going to take something special from that distance to finally break through here, but Syracuse growing into this game in the attacking side of the pitch. Burko in particular has been a menace here in the second half.
JC Rivero is pausing play for the moment. First 10 gone by here in this second half. Miss hit by Agunlea gives the ball right back to Syracuse. Left it high in the air. Agunlea finding his way to Jack Lewis. Leibold contending with him there. Subashan along the sideline. Shifamba. To Chimri Omese. And back to Leibold. It's a Syracuse group that with 3 wins on the season, 2 losses and 2 draws. Draws against Boston College on the road. Tough play out there in Chestnut Hill. And a loss to Virginia Tech to follow. Looking for their first ACC win today. Here you see the fouls. 3 for Syracuse in the second half, 2 for Louisville.
much, much brighter here in the second half from Syracuse. Looking a lot more threatening. They did have a few breakthroughs in the first half, at least initially, and Louisville recovered well, but this is a little bit more of a sustained involvement.
Shafamba, too long. I don't think Guerra's head got a piece of that, and it'll go back to Louisville with Braden Smith getting ready to check back in.
For Syracuse, coming on, number 31, Braden Smith.
Ian McIntyre certainly get most rotation out of his guys that one coach could desire.
Yeah, not afraid to use the bench. And look, I think they're still, it's clear from the results. I mean, they're still trying to find the right combinations. That's a really excellent ball out left. So you got to keep working all your different guys and see what you can do to get. But I'll tell you this much, Joey, I don't love the body language from Louisville at this point. There have been a couple of set pieces, a couple of moments where somebody's not on the right page with the other person and there's arms being raised and they're getting frustrated with each other. You got a young team. You got to just keep your composure. Maybe it's not always going for the pass. Maybe it's trying to hold possession and rework it around, reverse it if you can find something on the other side. But you want to get yourselves down against a really talented Syracuse team that's starting to grow into this game.
Threadgold just testing the waters there in the box. I think that's a great point about body language, because you can tell a lot about where a team is at in that current state just based on how they're reacting if something goes poorly and what have you. Or if something goes great, are they immediately focused on the next one, or are they stewing in the moment? Mara chases that one down, and Braden Smith, the freshman from New York City of New England Revolution Academy, MLS Next Pro, coming to throw in. Shafamba keeps that one alive. Looking inside of Kalukian. Along the right wing, Threadgold trying to find Kalukian on the run inside. So look, maybe he could have had service in the box. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, that goes back to decision making in the final third. It's just, I don't think that was the right decision there. I think it's just kind of spray the ball across the frame of the goal, and you've got a couple guys in the box there. But good combination play building up to that moment. And again, another kind of positive shift in momentum here for Syracuse as they're starting to get on the ball and starting to look a little bit more dangerous.
Lewis holding off Christian Fortier. It pays off for Louisville. It's Subashan on the run against Omase. Work it to the back line once again for DeBlasis and Agunlea. And Subashan tied up with Omase again. John Michael Hayden trying to beckon for his back line to get together once again. And Syracuse trying to take advantage. Here's Smith. And Kamara, former D2 All-American at Limestone, stymies that chance, albeit for the moment, for DeBlasis to clear. 16+ minutes gone here between Louisville and Syracuse in the second half. Neither team really able to gain advantage. A couple shots on goal for Syracuse in this half alone. Guerra threw ahead. Subashan, maybe the chance Louisville's trying to find, and it's deflected. Nicely done by Keller de Jesus.
Yeah, really, really nice ball in. Subashan did well, but good defending to equal him. Getting a shot away.
It's JP Jordan trying to chase that one down. Syracuse is trying to go turbo on the opposite end.
It's getting a little chippy here as the pace picks up.
There's Saunders Road, slid on and nicely defended by DaCosta.
Once again, Syracuse, that back three, those center backs have done a really good job of interrupting really any opportunities for Louisville.
Tadafu gets tapped for the foul. Trying to work against Daniel Burko. And Ola Arntzen is on for JP Jordan. So you get the switch up there in the holding midfield. Arntzen transfer from Evansville. And JC Rivera and John Michael Hayden exchanging some words. I mean, they're far away. They're just talking.
I mean, I've not seen a referee have this lively of an exchange from the center of the field. It's a rare sight. Usually they stop play and come over and talk, and he's
right.
Oh, it's a dangerous moment here.
Certainly is. There's Smith. Smith on the outside, looking for Burko. That's all. That ball got deflected somewhere along the way on its path. And Louisville dodges a bullet. So Chifamba goes down to threat goal on the outside. Fortier, service, headed up off of Burko, and Tadafu was there. Mason Tadafu is giving a serious good bit of effort.
Yeah, and that's just a little cramp here to slow things down and get your team a chance to kind of refocus. It's been a pretty frenetic energy in the second half, especially in the last 10, 15 minutes. But Louisville just starting to feel maybe a little bit more pressure as Syracuse turns them over. They're creeping a little bit higher. The press is starting to work a little bit. The counter pressing is working after they lose the ball, winning the ball back quickly.
And he's working out that cramp with the training staff, and a welcomed water break here for both sides. I mentioned 7 teams in the top 20, and the top 25 included in there as well. Of course, you only need 20, but this has just been a pretty crazy start to the season for all parties involved. You get those last 3 all unbeaten, yet the number 1, 2, and 4 all with at least 1 loss, but to good teams.
Yeah, I mean, 4 of the top 6 teams in the country. I feel like a broken record a little bit, but I mean, this is what this league is, and it's always difficult to play these teams anywhere. So that's what separates the really good teams from the solid teams, the teams that pick up wins and maybe they don't have success on the road. These are the teams that go and win everywhere. And right. I think Syracuse is trying to be that team right now and go get a big road win. It's there for the taking. 25 minutes left. It's there for the taking for them.
Stanford has had quite the both in men's and women's, by the way.
That's crazy. That
it's a quick
change.
Shift.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I think the only asterisk there, because they play their minds out every match. I would imagine they're going to be a welcome welcome back to the top 25 next week.
Yeah, fun team to watch. Clemson's a fun team to watch. Pitt, it's an entertaining league, that's for sure.
Glad you're joining us tonight here at Dr. Mark and Cindy Lynn Stadium. Jeff Greer, Joey Lindstrom, Tyler Bright. This is a highly touted matchup for both these teams, and really the best way to see where they're at right now. What we can tell is that both defenses have been really on point.
That's pretty much the name of the game right now, is the center backs in particular for both teams, especially Syracuse in the box. Louisville maybe a little bit higher, although they've had to defend in the box a bit more in the second half. They've just been really good at disrupting chances and or things developing into a chance. It really has not been a legitimate scoring chance that I can think of for either team at this point.
This is the 5th free kick for Sonder Road. And he sends this one to try for a shot, and Kalukian took that one right off the noggin.
Yeah, that was a cannon. That was definitely a cannonball coming in. And Sonder Road, I think at that point, look, Louisville's had a couple of different free kick opportunities, pretty much all from this side, and they just haven't really been able to generate anything with them. So this time, why not see if you can put something at pace that's sort of like a shot? I mean, I think it was a shot. And see if maybe it takes a deflection, maybe it gets blocked and falls into someone's path, just something different. But obviously at the same time, Kalukian, you're hoping he's okay. I've been impressed with him tonight. He's a scrappy forward.
2 goals already this season. Transfer from Michigan. Had a brace against Boston in the opening round of the NCAAs last year. So it's his 2nd year with Syracuse. And he'll come off.
I want to give a shout out to the Syracuse trainer there, but he's not listed on the roster. Is that Travis Kelce? Where's Taylor Swift? Is she here tonight?
He gave me more
good
Jason
look.
Statham.
Okay.
Like he came here in a helicopter with Otto the Orange.
I'm glad Kalukian's okay.
Yeah.
And that can be scary. It's just kind of like you're trying to defend, but at the same time, that thing is coming at a warp speed. Hopefully.
On for him is Michael Aqua. Leads the team in assists, a transfer from Lindsey Wilson at the NAIA level. Subashan, mishit there, trying to get to Michael Lee. And DeBlastis out of play. Both teams nearly the same scoring differential. Louisville 11 goals to its name this season, with 7 given up, and Syracuse at the 12 mark after the 5-1 win against Canisius. Golden Griffins.
I'm impressed. I know a few Canisius alumni.
I know one.
It's a good school.
Yeah.
I've heard the school's name pronounced 87 different ways.
Good look in front. Tadafu was there again. Canisius, Canisius, almost biblical.
And our poor equipment manager here for U of L is now jogging back over to leave the stadium. Third time tonight.
He's got a hat trick. Maybe he just didn't run this morning, and this is the universe getting him to get the exercise in after warm-ups.
That's tough.
It'll be Elton Chifamba. Headed down and up. It's over top the net. Luckily there for Sellers, and unfortunately for Omese, Off the service from Chifaba, and TJ Kaho'ali for Louisville is ready to trot back on the pitch.
Yeah, made Harvey Sellers think for a second. As Omasei was able to get something on that. And that's, in those moments you head it down, it makes it very difficult to defend. And it's hard for the goalkeeper at that range, but Sellers happy to watch that bounce over. And there's going to be a yellow card for 18.
Is this issued for McIntyre's bench? It is.
The referee has shown a yellow card at Syracuse, number 18.
No, I think
this will be on my clock.
Yeah, saying it's an accumulation for an accumulation yellow card for his entire team is what I think that argument was, because I don't know that he's been on a ton tonight. That's the first foul he's committed.
I was going to say, we haven't called his name for a foul yet today.
Yeah, I think Rivero here, the referee, is just trying to get things under control a little bit here as we enter the final 20 minutes or so.
Pinned down to Sunder Road and out of play. Tough spot to be here if you're Braden Smith. Get yourself out of jam in the corner. Gets alive by Tatafu along the sideline. This is that Louisville bench. Lewis keeps that one alive for Vallejo Kamara. Nicely done by the Limestone transfer. There's Subashan. That ball trots its way down to Kaho'ali after Subashan had some contact with Omastay.
I think he was trying to get that on his left foot for a shot from the looks of it, and lost his balance and kicked the ground. Let's see. Well done from Kamara. Yeah, Subashan. I think he's trying to rake that back across with his left foot, but yeah, first touch, excuse me, betrayed him, and then he lost his balance there. Got a helpful nudge from an opponent.
Be a real chance for Louisville at midfield. Kara gets tripped up by Sam Layton. Physical matchup tonight. Final 20 minutes at Lynn. Sunder Road even gets tangled there with Kevin DaCosta. Either way you draw it up. Another yellow there for Syracuse. This has been a testy match here in the second half.
I think he just gave out a second yellow here. Two yellows for both of those late challenges there. And again, the Layton one was a little, I think the larger picture here is the referee is noticing some finishing touches being left in on these fouls and is trying to keep this game under control, because Louisville's very clearly getting frustrated. They're that time just kind of guiding Sunder Road down. You're always going to get called for that.
That's 5 yellow cards on Syracuse. I could have, I thought memory served that Louisville had a yellow card. They do not, according to the stat sheet. Road, high, lofting ball down to Tatafu. Foul inside on Mason Tatafu. Syracuse takes this as advantage. Up to Braden Smith. He's got nothing but green pitch in front of him. Deflected by DeBlastis, or Kaho'ali rather. Kept alive by 48. 48 down to Burko. DeBlastis interfering once again down in the corner with Lewis. Ben Rosenblatt and Nathan Scott. Back on for Kevin DaCosta and Fortier.
Joey Scott, just the string puller for this team. Can kind of dictate what's in front of him. See if he can make an impact here late. And this one is it's starting to get a little tense, isn't it? It's starting to feel a little bit more of that that tension that we were missing for large parts of that first half. It was physical, don't get me wrong, but it's gotten into the testy territory here in this second half.
Especially with a 0-0 match, you start to feel like a lot of these guys are going to be called for some chippiness, maybe, and that's fine, right? That's kind of the fun.
Love it. Yeah,
that's kind of the fun of the match when it's when there's not a score on the board from either side. They're willing to try everything.
Well, and also at this point, you're starting to get into if we score, we can win this game, and that's a powerful feeling in a match when you're chasing it.
Chance of a hat for Rosenblatt, sending that one into the box for Kalukian to track down. Just slightly behind Kalukian, the graduate transfer.
Yeah, it's been a tough night for Sander Rode in the run of play. He had the one moment in the first half where his dribbling opened up the opportunity for Kondic, but that time slipping in possession, and it was almost off to the races for Syracuse. Just not really able to get Sander on the ball and dictating terms up front just yet.
Tautafu, a little trouble there with Braden Smith. Sellers comes off his line, that ball's alive. It's Burko, Burko scores, and Syracuse is out front. The Orange find lightning in a bottle. Back-to-back games with a goal for Daniel Burko.
And this is just a classic scramble in the box. And Gunlea is furious that there's a loose ball there, trying to shield Sellers from Kalukian, and Sellers not quite able to get a hold of it. Kalukian's movement caught Gunlea a little bit there, and cool as you like from Burko. So look, if you're Louisville, you're really frustrated with that. That should be a lofted ball over the top, should be a relatively simple defensive moment for your team. And I know it's not simple, but you want your goalkeeper to come claim that. And Kalukian's movement, once again, we've been talking about Kalukian tonight. He's just physical, he's not gonna give up on a play. That time, Ogunleye thought he had him shielded for Sellers to get it, and he muscled past him to the right, caught him off guard, and 1-0.
Daniel Burko had 20 goals in 19 matches in a season with Lincoln Memorial before he transferred to Syracuse. Now his second goal on the season. Really impressive stuff for Daniel Burko, the senior from Norway.
Now is the big question, Joey. Who's going to step up if you're Louisville? Who's going to be that person to say, look, we've got to generate something? They have not really even had any chances on frame.
Maybe another chance here for Syracuse. Omeste. Chimray gets that one down to Kalukian off the deflection. Kalukian in the short corner. Syracuse trying for another quick. It's up ahead. Gage Guerra chasing that down with Layton. Layton just parlays out of play.
I thought that was going to go out for a corner there. Kalukian, I'm surprised he didn't let that run, let the clock eat up a little bit to go take a corner.
You're going to need somebody to step in and step up. For more on that, we'll go to Tyler Bright.
Yeah, so Leon Kondic had an immediate impact in his game against the Kentucky Wildcats, getting the goal with just seconds remaining to give Cards a 1-0 lead. It was the first win in over a decade for the Cards against the Wildcats in Lexington. He's looking to come on here late in this game. Let's see if he can tie this game and bring a late comeback for the Cards. Back up to you, Joey.
Tyler, you're high up there, and you just give any words of encouragement. Could have. Condich gets that goal against Kentucky in a very opportune time, about the 87th minute. So let's just take you back to 2023 when Syracuse had a 2-1 lead, a 1-goal lead, maybe more appropriately put, and Gage Guerra knocked one home to get that game back level and come away with a point in upstate New York. Ethan Subashan chips off. Leon Condich back on the pitch. Perhaps history can repeat itself here tonight. And Louisville's going to want it to, because the last thing you want right now, beginning of ACC play, to go down 0-3 in conference play.
Yeah, they need some kind of spark here getting forward, because they have not had that in this game. Out of maybe a set piece or two that looked dangerous at the outset.
Final 15. What has been a hot matchup. In both senses of the word. Kahoa Lee tries for the tackle there, but that ball skied way out of play. And off the Sellers. Seems relatively even in foul. Mentioned that Syracuse has 5 yellow cards at the moment. That goal by Burko, by the way, unassisted. Road, little contact there with Layton. Back to Louisville with Arnson. J.C. Rivero chatting with John Michael Hayden. I think he may have heard someone in the crowd, and that's who he reacted to.
It's getting very chatty out there, chattier than normal, but this is a great opportunity again for Louisville. You need to get something quality. Got some runners on that back post. Got to get something on frame.
6th free kick for Saunders Road. To Gunlia. Good header. That ball through, and a save by Putz. Still alive. Deflected by Syracuse.
Wow, Joey. That is the first time tonight that they've had to ask him to come up big. And boy, did he ever. That thing stays alive. It's well struck. I think that's DeBlasis who gets the shot away.
Yeah.
And that's going in. That's on frame near post, and that's hard to see in traffic. Good save.
Guerra had a piece of that one. It'll be a corner kick off the head there of Omeste. Omeste, rather.
Number 46, Saunders Road.
Louisville starting to play with a little more urgency here late. Obviously, they're going to need it. Final 13 minutes of this one.
Road, good ball. That one pinned down by Guerra and saved by Thomas Hutt.
That high looping back post ball. Saunders Road loves that. See if they can get a back header back across the face of the goal to get somebody to fire away, but that time well enough defended to make Tatafu just kind of put it in the turret.
Lewis, little contact. Freshman from Blackpool, England. And Syracuse, another pair of substitutions. Louisville will have their own. Coming up here shortly, maybe not in this instance, Philip Fredhall is getting ready to go. But for now is Ernest Bawa.
Only 3 substitutes used tonight for Louisville. Joey.
Yeah.
That's rare for a roster that has so many options. Of course, we know all the details if there's injuries or whatever else, but Louisville could use the spark.
Dominic Bell also on for Syracuse. Let me say. And the freight line has arrived here at Lynn Stadium. Normally we hear the horn. This person must not be a U of L fan.
Trying to spur the home team on. Norfolk Southern.
Contact Tatafu and Ernest Bawa. And this will be a yellow card issued to Mason Tatafu. First of the night here for Louisville.
Tatafu just trying to break up play there and prevent Syracuse from getting numbers. Steps in. And then a chance here for Syracuse to pin Louisville in its attacking or defensive third.
It'll be Elton Chafamba on the free kick. Last year assisted on 5 goals for Clemson. Reigning national champion, ACC tournament champion. Bawa came over from UNC, so you don't have to look too far for where transfers come from in the ACC. Sometimes it's betrayal of their old school. They can't, I guess with the transfer portal how it is, I don't think anybody takes too much offense. Unless you're going to in-state foe, perhaps.
Yeah.
UNC Duke, maybe that wouldn't go over so well.
Yeah, Kentucky,
Louisville, Kentucky,
It's
yeah.
a big one. I remember.
Yeah, Brandon McManus,
yeah.
came over from Kentucky.
That was a big one.
Troutman did too, I think,
Yep.
right?
And I believe Abu Kamara went
That's
Louisville to Kentucky, did he not?
Oh, right, yeah. That was some hotly contested storyline last year in the Battle of the Bluegrass.
Big 10 minutes here for Louisville.
Yep. What do you need to see, Jeff, out of this team? More of a frenetic pace or try to build it from the back?
Exactly this, a little bit more incisive.
There you go, Bilal Kamara. Just to find it, this will be a corner kick. He's looking for Kondich.
Yeah, just a little more incisive and then a better quality last ball in. That time winning a corner, I'll take it. If I'm Louisville, I'll take it. But it's just got to be a little bit more cohesive getting forward for Louisville.
Road into the box, nearly headed down by Agunliad. Maybe just missed him by an inch. Kept alive. Lewis toward the 6, and Hutt comes off his spot to usurp that chance for Louisville.
Yeah, that was a really good ball in from Sandra Road. Some options, and that's, again, Louisville very much missing Josh Jones in those moments because he is always the target. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The other team can know all about it too, but oftentimes that doesn't seem to matter.
Out of play off the foot of Kondich. More substitutions for both sides. Philip Fredall comes on for Bilal Kamara. A welcome sign because Fredall has been nursing some injury. Chase Vasquez comes on for TJ Lee. And then for Syracuse comes Ezra Whitman and Michael Aqua. Once again for Kaluki. And I believe whoever's down. And Jack Lewis late pushing and shoving with Jack Lewis and Nathan Scott there. As the player down, I believe that's Chifamba.
Yeah, I missed what led up to that. As we were looking at the substitutions, I don't know if they're arguing. Maybe they're arguing over pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh yeah, well,
What do you think?
not this heat.
It's 100 degrees out. People are trying to tell me about fall. But anyway.
Well, with your waffle diet plus some pills, I'm sure your morning routine is awfully sugary. Let's see what happened here. Maybe get your footage of that later on. It just, when you have a stop, maybe this is what Jack Lewis was arguing for. Perhaps another stoppage. Maybe he wants to keep play going because this could be a momentum piece for maybe Louisville thought maybe they had some momentum on their side. But regardless, the clock still stops. College soccer with no stoppage time added on. So both sets of players are more than happy to have a little water break here. Here's a look ahead for the Orange. They get Cornell at home on Tuesday. A really tough Wake Forest team coming to town as well next Friday. That Notre Dame game you can circle for that following Saturday. Really going to be fun to watch how a team like Notre Dame runs through conference play. National runner-up a year ago. Syracuse, the national champion in 2022. I wouldn't even call it a hangover from a 2022 national title run. The 9 wins, go to the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament. Good run.
Yeah.
And you end up having to learn a lot about yourself after a title game or runner-up.
Yep, you do. And you know, you build that culture into your program, and they've had some good teams, and each year it's super, super hard to maintain that. So I'm always impressed with programs that continue to win at high levels, as Ernest Bawa is off on the far side. He was one of the substitutions, correct? So
he was.
He'll be tended to.
About,
it looked like he
I think
hurt
10 minutes ago or so.
Yeah, it looked like it was an ankle for him, so hopefully all right for Syracuse. But Syracuse at this point happy to get it down into the corners and start eating up some clock and holding on to possession.
Orange trying to get themselves a spot and a 2-goal lead. Another substitution on the next dead ball. It'll be Luca Holdenstein, a transfer from South Florida. Be in for Mason Tadafu.
Substitution for Louisville coming on, number 4.
Late finish here for Louisville. They're trying to churn out goals. I wonder if they're going to switch to a back 4. And DeBlasis has switched back out to the right side. Well, he's going into the center of the back 3. Maybe it's to get DeBlasis a little bit more forward.
Hollenstein, graduate transfer from Austria. He stands at a comfortable 6'2" as well. So you might, you replace the same height as Mason Tadafu, perhaps not the same jumping ability, you're not sure. This is only his second played for the Cardinals, but really good career at Florida. Going to be fun to see how he enters in the back here, but Louisville's got to get out of its own way there in the corner against Syracuse. By the way, they added, if you noticed on the scorebug, 4 seconds. So they started back up at 8 minutes. Chifamba in the corner working against Agunlia up the Sonder Road. Louisville gets out of a jam. Chifamba stymied there by Jack Lewis. Michael Aqua ahead to Widman. Then in the short corner, Cuse looking like they got a good chance here before Louisville parries it away. Up to Kondic. Cards on the run. Even numbers if they get this ball ahead. To Fredall. Kondic got tripped up. And DeBlasis gets some contact there with Michael Aqua. Arnson. Too far.
Yeah, just a really good job there from Kondic taking space, but then they get into the attacking third, and it's just kind of disjointed, just not quite. I don't think it helps that, I think it was it Fred Hall that went down, but Kondic went down, and it's just not quite cohesive once they get into that final 20 yards of what's the next pass, who's making the run, who's available for you.
What do you feel like, not looking for an obvious answer, what do you feel like is missing out of this offense tonight?
I think it's just that. I think it's, they get into these moments, Louisville does, where they're set up for what should be a chance, and they're just not able. They did on the one corner, but that last pass, that little bit of a run to pull a defender away and open up space for somebody else, it just hasn't been there tonight for Louisville.
Saunder Road gets tripped up. He was just clawing after that ball. Omiseh. Shimre gets this off over to the right wing for Ezra Widman. Chifamba was down there briefly. Widman keeps this one alive in the wing. Ian McIntyre's squad leaning into its fourth win. If the score stands, this will be a Louisville goal kick. With 5 minutes to go here at Lynn Stadium.
This would be about the time, Joey, that they'd be that Josh Jones would be up at center forward, and they'd start pumping balls into the box and just see if they can get the big guy on one.
DeBlasis, great ball through to Fredall. Phillip catches up to it in the short corner. Oh, that ball rattled between both players, and that's going to be Syracuse ball. J.C. Rivero and Donald Williams both saw it.
Yeah, Braden Smith, really good defending to catch up to that excellent ball from DeBlasis. And that time just unlucky for Fred Hall, but yeah, DeBlasis moving out to that right center back, really distributing well, showing why they made that late switch with Tatufu coming off. But again, Joey, what have we've been talking about? Same thing. You get down to that moment, and they don't get a ball in. There's no chance creation for Louisville in that last moment there to try to get something on target.
Just missing one extra piece or a few inches, right?
Yep. And that save from Hutt on the corner, standing awfully tall right now for Syracuse. It's maybe the play of the game. Obviously the goal was a big one, but strong paw on the near post has kept it 1-0.
Ball out of play. Throwing for Vasquez. Arnson off to Saunder Road. Lofted. Too far for Guerra. The feed from Hohenstein. Chance here for Braden Smith. Braden Smith, an open look, but it's quickly Denied by Ogunleya. Nice heady play by the freshman.
Harvey Sellers is down here.
Yeah, he is.
That's not good. He immediately went down after the deflection. Just looked real uncomfortable. Incredible work from Braden Smith.
Just a non-contact. He just an awkward step. But 2:12, so this does still stop the clock here. Coaches can't gather their team less for a water break if they elect to. So Syracuse has some players come off. Louisville doesn't have any. But Sellers obviously will be ready to go. And if he does choose to sub out, if John Michael Hayden does choose Sellers out, it'll be A.J. Piela, the freshman from Columbus, Ohio, Olentangy Liberty High School. When Svetnov went down, it was Piela and Harvey Sellers that were in competition in those preseason exhibition matches. And he got a little bit of run against Belmont. Interesting to see if he gets in here in the final two. You hate to see the non-contact injury being the. You hate to see players go down anyhow. Just take a look. It just awkward steps there.
Yep.
Didn't look like anything awry.
Yeah, just but again, to your point, the non-contact is always concerning, and the fact that he immediately reacted the way he did.
And they're signaling that Harvey Sellers is. He says he's ready to go. It looks like Sean Tebin and Stephen Looney have the go-ahead if they want it, as well as John Michael Hayden, of course. Sean Tebin, the goalkeeper's coach, and he mentioned as well, you know, early in the preseason with Piela as somebody who could probably get a run if things didn't go so well in the beginning of the season with Sellers. They have gone well.
Yeah, I mean, Sellers has been excellent, and he'll feel a little hard done on the goal there. He was coming off his line and just put off slightly by Kalukian on the goal there, but he's been such a good goalkeeper for Louisville this year. He's made a lot of really good reflex saves. And as we talked about at the top of the show, Joe, he really stepped in when called upon and has done everything that that he was asked to do. So
it looks like they're actually going to have Ola Arntzen stick around in goal. This is unusual. You don't typically see, especially somebody like a holding midfielder. Now, I know that Ola Arntzen, based on the notes that we've been given, he did play a little keeper in high school, so he's not unfamiliar with this territory. He's been playing midfielder in his career at Evansville and Louisville, of course, but foul there on the cards, so this goes back for Syracuse, but no A.J. Piela. Don't stick the freshman in there, despite having a great camp like he did. They go with Arntzen, give him the one other black jersey that they had for the night. How about this?
gotta see if you can shake it up. Sweeper keeper.
Sean Tepin is beckoning Luca Hohenstein to just move upfield so they can have Jack Lewis hang out there in the back. Fred All just lets this down to Arntzen. So is Louisville playing essentially a man down?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. This under Road. An interesting move with given the time that you have your holding midfielder. When you like to have offensive players up, you have him go back in goal.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if is there a rule here? If they've not maxed out on their subs.
They certainly
It's
haven't.
not even close.
This will be another yellow card issued here for Syracuse. So this will be a yellow card there on Chimere Omese.
And this is like, when you say Sonder Road, you think
Right.
free kick from 20 yards on his right foot. So he is going to have a major pop at this under a minute. No question about it. This is going to be a shot, and you're going to just ask Tomas Hutt to be up to the challenge. It's a little bit, it is a little closer in, 19, 20 yards or so, so you've got to get it up and down. Syracuse going the old school.
Is that
Nathan Scott? Yeah, laying down.
He's going to
good old-fashioned
tabletop his
roadblock.
teammates, or I have not called a match where that's happened. I've always wanted to see it. So certainly no balls will be through the feet there or the wall. This will be Sonder Road to try to draw level in Louisville. He does! Sonder Road draws for the Cards. A man down, and Louisville might escape with a point.
Wow. Wow, that is everything that you want in a free kick in that moment. Beautiful on it, into the netting. It's been a really scrappy game. One of your team leaders, he made that look easy. I mean, he made that look like he was passing it to the back of the net, around the wall. And that's as late as it comes in college soccer. It doesn't get more exciting than that.
But ready for it there. With Garrett chasing down. So Syracuse bearing the other way in the final 30.
What a game, Joey. This second half has been very entertaining.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Very cagey first 45, and the second half just lit up.
What an incredible way to end. Very reminiscent of last season when Louisville tied up in the 88th minute. Top class match out of both squads in the ACC tonight.